After a 2-week break and hiatus, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Temporally Scripted. And we got some super exciting stuff to talk about today. Of course, we're going to mention the moon mission. We're on our way back, or are we? Questions to be had about that. If you're a conspiracy theorist, you probably want to stick around and bring your tinfoil hats with you. And we'll be talking about how Mark Zuckerberg is endangering children, as we already knew. And we might dig a little bit into some stories about animals and governments wasting hundreds of $millions and all that other fun stuff. But I'm sure the reason you guys have tuned back in today is not for the news. It's not for the stories. It's certainly not for my bold ass head. It's for the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Adam Garcia. Welcome back, my friend. How's it going?
It's going very well. As always, it's lovely to be here. Looking forward to this one.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. The tagline you got there perfectly. Have you got a teleprompter there now, sir, or something?
I haven't. I was thinking of buying one. Just thought it would come in really handy. Or seeing if there was some way with agentic AI that I could just chill out and get the AI to just do the whole thing for me instead. Like one step further than teleprompter, really.
Yeah, I've had to resist the urge and close all my windows to not have AI agents here on the left, like working while we're doing this particular mission. And I can't say if they help me or not, because I seem to spend more of my time building things and creating stuff that I didn't even know I needed before.
A lot of technology does that. It's like you get this technology and think, oh, right, it can do this, 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 and this. But you spend so much time programming it, or just finding other things that you can do that sometimes waste your time. That it's how much further forward are you sometimes? Probably still further forward, but not as much as you would have hoped.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you see people complaining about AI and, it's taking this job and that job or whatever else. But I think the very high end of most industries, for example, like web builders or whatever, I'm not going to go and spend $5,000 on a website. But if I can make one with AI that's pretty good, then I'll build it. Right. I'm already thinking, we could improve the temporally scripted website. Because the 6 visitors that we get there probably deserve a bit of a better experience than I think. I think I stopped uploading episodes at about episode 5, and we're in season 5, I think, or season 4 or season 5 at this stage.
Something like that, yeah.
So yeah, if anyone goes to the site, they'll think that we're still shit. And I don't know if I had hair when we started. I can't remember.
No, it's still the same look.
I think so we didn't have to rebrand on that. Anyway. Artemis, moon landing. It's nice to have something different to talk about that's not Epstein or the Iran war.
It is, yes. Well, I mean, we could talk about those things, but it's just not very uplifting. Doesn't give you the same blast off that a moon mission does.
Unless it's like, Epstein and Trump on a rocket on the way to a moon. A moon, I suppose. It could be a moon, one of Jupiter's. Without a return ticket. Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be too bad, would it?
It would certainly be newsworthy and some good headlines, good clickbait.
I've done a full circle on Trump as well, because like when he first got elected, I didn't mind the guy. I thought he was quite interesting. But now my fucking petrol prices have gone up. I am not a happy bunny.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
It's only when it affects you personally that it becomes important.
Yeah, if I want to fly somewhere on holiday, it's going to cost me a bit more. I'm fucking seething.
Yeah, well, I mean, some places like the Philippines, it's not looking so great, is it? I saw something that they can't refuel their jets like in the country, like so much. And yeah, cutting down the working week to 4 days and just all kinds of increases across the board. And it's not looking like the future's so great because they didn't have much in the way of reserves. And a lot of countries are in a similar position.
Yeah, I bet they're absolutely buzzing that, the Americans run their government for them at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, we did say that we're going to talk about the moon and not Iran. But I mean, the thing is, it is kind of crazy. It is really crazy what's happened, because the American government decided, let's do this. America, in a lot of ways, is self-sufficient in terms of oil and energy. It just affects everybody else in this really negative way. It'll still affect the American economy and other things as well, but just not as badly as a lot of other places. Then it's like they've gone in, made this mess, and then it's everybody else that's got to suffer disproportionately. It's just really, really crazy.
Maybe that's the plan. Although I do like logging in every day and seeing that, you know, Trump's like said something hilarious about some other leader. Yesterday he said that Macron's wife treats him terribly, which I thought was quite funny. It's basically saying, your wife beasts you around, son. Like, come on. I don't give a shit if you won't let us fly through your airspace. At least my wife doesn't slap me in public, which is, yeah, pretty fucking funny, to be fair.
Which is, I mean, that's an odd kind of couple, isn't it, in some ways? Because wasn't Macron at school when he met his wife, who was a teacher, who was like the drama teacher, and she was like, I don't know, 40 or something, and he was like 16 or whatever. That's what I heard anyway.
Drama teachers are always a bit fruity though, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
I guess so. I don't know. I haven't met many drama teachers.
Yeah, I just remember from mine, like we had Mr. Dench, and looking back, I'm pretty sure that he had like, you know, a secret stash of stuff in his office that smells funny and affects your, you know, your eyesight. Anyway, I nearly got us in trouble there, but I mean, who gives a fuck? Right, moving on. Artemis, what we were going to talk about 5 minutes ago before I took us down the trail of Iran by not talking about Iran. Anything you want to add about Epstein before we do that? Did he pay for this mission in some way?
No, I don't think so. But talking of going to the moon, I mean, like with Bitcoin, it looks like Epstein had a lot of links to like Bitcoin devs and things like that, which is very interesting, but I didn't know about before. So he may have had some real influence in a lot of things surrounding Bitcoin. Could even be Satoshi. Who knows? That's a good title for it.
Link? Was that a tenuous link between moon as in cryptocurrencies mooning? I like it. Very good. Very good. So this moon mission, did you get up for it? Because obviously this side of the world, it was like a 5:30 a.m. takeoff thing. Did you get up and watch it or not?
I didn't know. I mean, I knew that it was just made in a Hollywood studio somewhere, and I thought, you know, I've seen Star Trek before. It's a similar kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, the fuckers could have put it on at a more reasonable time for me if it was going to be in the studio. Do you know what I mean? Like, is it AI generated?
More than likely.
Yeah. No, I noticed that the light is at exactly the same point on the side of the spaceship for the mission. And I mean, you could easily do that, right? If I got out of this shot now and like put the camera really, really close to the curtain at the back, we could say that we were filming this week's episode of Temporally Scripted from a space shuttle on its way to the moon.
Try it next week, see how it goes.
Like, you've got like an almost like astronaut vibe behind you above your head. Look there as well.
That is true. I mean, I think if I got like a toilet seat and then some kind of curtain that had stars on it and could somehow move it slightly, I could put that behind me and it would look like I was in some kind of spaceship on the way to the moon.
I like it. Yeah. And do you know what?
Next week.
One of the interesting things that I've seen so far, I saw a story today where it said they have to do 30 minutes exercise a day to avoid their muscles like shrinking because of no gravity or whatever. Isn't that just the case on Earth as well? Like, if you like 30 minutes exercise a day is not a lot, is it? I mean, I know it's a lot for an American, but it's not a lot. The average American, ladies and gentlemen, sorry. But it's not a lot in general, is it? 30 minutes exercise.
Yeah, I guess. I guess it isn't really. If that's part of your routine, that's quite a good thing to do. And it depends what your class is exercise. Walking is exercise, really. And if you're doing so many thousand steps a day, that would be more than the 30 minutes that the astronauts are doing, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what kind of exercise they do. I mean, it'd be funny doing like weights and that kind of thing.
setting personal records like you've not believed. Get Guinness on the phone. Look at this. He's just deadlifted like 5,000 kilograms.
Guy's an absolute legend.
Yeah, I always wonder what happens. I mean, I guess they're always in spacesuits, but like if you do a wet fart on a spaceship, that's bad times, isn't it?
Oh, it could be, yeah. Oh, what
Follow
happens if it's
through.
inside the spacesuit? Just like stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They don't have to wear like the fully sealed suits where they're inside either, do they? It's just when they're going outside to like do shit, fix stuff, and do space work and whatever it is.
About
they do.
space stuff. Yeah, I think the actual like pod or vehicle or whatever, it's all just sealed and makes an environment that's livable.
Yeah, yeah. So I saw another news story about this that was saying there was a great hope that this would unite the world under one mission, one thing, and hopefully it would like make things more peaceful. That's a load of bollocks, isn't it?
I mean, it's working well so far.
Yeah. I mean,
Doesn't everywhere just feel more peaceful now compared to 2 days ago?
The 60s was a much simpler time, wasn't it? Like, it was a much simpler time where stuff like this, you could sort of go, you could like blow people's minds and give this big sense of like global solidarity by having a moon landing and stuff. People don't give a fuck about that now, do they? So
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's like that shock value. The first time you see something, it's like, oh, and then if you keep getting exposed to the same thing, eventually it doesn't really mean anything anymore. It's not as shocking as what it was initially, which is why people get addicted to horror or porn or whatever, and it gets more and more and more extreme because you get used to what you see. Or in wars, you just block out horrible scenes that you see, right? So I think people have seen so much now, it's like, oh, there's a rocket going to the moon, so
yeah, I mean, it's not a new thing, is it really, like it was back in the 60s? But again, I mean, with the thing of like unites people and things, it's not like it really did back in the 60s. I mean, in some ways, everyone found it amazing. It's like, wow, we've put people on the moon. That's crazy. But at the same time, that was the whole space race that was going on. And it was like the Americans trying to outdo the Russians. And it seemed like the Russians were winning at some point because they had Sputnik, and then they put the first dog in space, and then eventually the Americans took over and went all the way to the moon.
Did that dog
allegedly? I don't think it did, and it felt very rough when it got back.
I was gonna say, yeah, no consent. It's like, yeah, not good. So when you say allegedly, what do you think about this? What's your opinion on this? Is it true? Is it false? Is it, who knows? Like, what do you think? Is it a Truman Show style thing that we're all just locked in? Like,
I really just haven't had the time to really investigate it in the way that you'd need to be certain. But I'm pretty sure they went when they said they went. And but there are just so many weird things. And there's I can't remember the guy's name, but there's one guy in particular that wrote a book about it. And when you listen to his explanation on a podcast, you start going, oh, right, yeah. Huh, that is pretty, oh, no way. And it does seem like there's loads of these weird inconsistencies and weird coincidences that just, yeah, make you think, did we really go there?
yeah, I mean, it does seem like it was, you know, a lot at the time, considering that I think all of the compute power they had on that spaceship was like the equivalent of a phone.
Yeah,
Now,
well, less
like
than
a phone
that.
now is more powerful than that. And I don't, maybe not a 3310 or whatever, you know, burner phone. Probably the equivalent of a burner phone. But yeah, I mean, I was never someone who doubted it. So to me, it sort of feels a bit like flat Earth.
I guess with flat Earth, it's just it's easier to disprove that because there's cameras that have been on rockets and satellites, and it looks down and goes, oh, right, yeah, the Earth looks kind of round. It's like much easier to prove. With some of the moon landing stuff, it's one of those things where you sort of go, okay, well, prove to me that it's not made in Hollywood, because it sure looks like it. And you go, yeah, but that's the idea of like space movies and Hollywood, to be as realistic as possible. And so it would look the same or close to the same.
Yeah, I did wake up this morning with the Darth Vader theme in my head. I don't know if that's linked or anything, if that's just something else. But I did wake up sort of making my kids pack lunch for school, humming.
Dum, 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 dum.
I don't know if that's why or not. But yeah, I mean, again, it's like, surely with the level of race that was going on for the moon and for space and all of that stuff, you would think the Russians would be like, yeah, that didn't happen. They wouldn't just go,
You would think so.
We believe it. Because like, if the level of knowledge, intelligence, unless they're all in on it, which is possible, you'd think they'd be like, wait, hold on, we're not having this. We know you've not been there.
At the same time, you had like thousands of people working on this project. So someone would have let the cat out of the bag at some point and let the secret slip, you would think.
It's human nature, isn't it? You wouldn't. It's just not possible, I don't think, for that level, unless it's just me in the Truman Show, and then maybe, like this. But it's obviously not called the Truman Show because my name's Truman, and that would make no fucking sense at all.
I was just thinking, what's the main evidence that people cite for us not going there? One, I believe, is the level of radiation that would be there as you're flying out, and there's just no way that humans could survive it. I think the other one, there was something where a flag seems to like flutter.
Waft, that's the one I remember.
Which
wafting in the wind.
Which wouldn't necessarily happen on the moon. There's some other things where like the light sources seem wrong. For like the shadows that they're casting in like parallel lines where they shouldn't be. I think some of the background appears a couple of times, but then it says it's different places. Oh, that's what NASA claimed. NASA destroyed loads of video footage and loads of photographs that were taken, because what the feed that people saw as well wasn't raw footage. That was a feed that came and then was like projected onto a wall and then filmed, and then that's what went through everyone's TV, which made it that extra level of graininess. Yeah,
maybe it's because there's that random vending machine on there that Wallace and Gromit found when they went up and it ran.
Right. Could be that as well.
It was pissed off, do you know what I mean? Because they landed, broke some of the cheese mounds, and it was coming out, gluing them back together. For those of you that have not seen Wallace and Gromit, and I don't even know if it's a thing outside of the UK, go and educate your damn selves.
Yeah, because it's top quality entertainment. Like,
it is indeed.
Really, really good. All made by hand. Indeed.
Yeah, allegedly. I'm doubting everything now. That's it. It's all a conspiracy. Allegedly. I think that's a bigger conspiracy to dig into. Like, did Nick Park actually make all of those things by hand, or was it, AI generated?
Yeah, was it someone else? Who knows?
Anyway, so moving on to more cheerful news, the UK's got a lack of medicines at the moment.
Oh, nice, because they've got a lack of everything else as well. A lack of a plan. Yeah. Lack of a military.
It's impeccably good planning. Like the way they've planned it, it's fantastic. Yeah, from one of the most inventive and strong countries on the planet to shortage of medicines, because who would have thought there was going to be a global crisis? I mean, there was no clues at all that we were going to have any kind of crises in the world.
Yeah, which seems like it's coming quite quickly. And I didn't get
for want of a better phrase. Said the choir boy to the bishop. On Easter weekend as well. Shocking. Okay.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Not far away.
It is indeed.
That crazy time of year where rabbits lay chocolate eggs, which doesn't seem to make much sense.
Speaking about that though, and I'm sure we covered this in a previous episode. Do you remember Nesquik cereal?
Oh yeah, and you add the milk and it turns it into like almost like milkshake, but with cereal in it.
Yeah, but also the Nesquik cereal is like little brown balls, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and the logo is the mascot is a rabbit.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like buying a box of rabbit shit for breakfast. I mean, someone in the office was like, "This would be hilarious." And the funny thing is, there is zero nutritional value in this stuff as well. So we're literally mugging them off double in the sense that if they were eating a box of rabbit shit, it would probably have more nutrition.
There actually is, yeah, because it is like the nutritional value on those kinds of things are just next to nothing. It's just some kind of like fodder, really, just to sort of put through your body, give yourself a little bit of energy. And I think that's pretty much it. You're not, even though it's extra nutrients that have been added, I don't think you're really getting much from it.
No. Anyway, how did we go from medicines to Nesquik rabbit shit cereal? Back to medicines and Easter, and oh yeah, let's go back to medicines.
Yeah. Well, I add this to the list, and it comes from a very reputable publication called Birmingham Live. So I don't know if it's if all right,
High quality, yeah, high quality.
But yeah, so they say that 4 common medicines could actually run out within days or weeks as the Middle East war continues, which sounds pretty bad.
It does, yeah. Well, they're good for overpopulation.
Yeah, I mean, this is it, I guess in some ways. But yeah, some of these medications, they're not ones that people are going to be using a lot. But if you don't have them, you would really need them if you had certain conditions. So it's like Effudix, crayon, betamustine, Effudix, and fluorosil. Okay. And it's some of these.
Fluorosil sounds like toothpaste for halitosis. I mean, surely we can cope with a few people having bad breath for a couple of weeks when there's a war on.
Exactly, yeah. So some of these are chemotherapy medicines.
Oh shit! Yeah, well now I feel wait and make me feel like a bastard, Adam.
Yeah, I thought I'd drop that in a little bit later after you'd dropped a few jokes in there and looked like a real stand-up guy.
Thanks for that, dude. Thanks for that. Yeah.
And also, like, medicine prices could be soaring with these things as well. Which, yeah, I don't really get exactly how these are in short supply because of the war in Iran.
It sounds like they've just been holding this one in Westminster for a little bit, and they're like, never waste a good crisis, boys. Never waste a good crisis.
Yeah, well, I wonder with a lot of things if we're going to see a lot of blame put on the Iran war, and it's like, oh, well, we wouldn't be raising tax, but we've had this war and we've got to, because there's always that. They were going to raise those taxes anyway, but they didn't have the excuse of, well, there is a war on, because that kind of thing always happens.
Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, well, we definitely can't fix the potholes in the road because there's a war on, We need to save that pothole fixing for our crumbling air defense systems.
Yeah.
It's funny, man. We are almost like, Russia 1990 level in the UK at the moment.
I always find it really funny when you go to different countries and people are like, oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from England. So, oh, wow. It's such an amazing place. I really, really want to go. And I was like, it's not it's not as good as you think. It's really
Yeah,
not as good as you think, you know?
yeah, it's one of the benefits of petrol prices being so high is like the slim idea I had about maybe going back this year for a visit is like not going to happen because the petrol prices are so high. So the flights are like 2 grand or something per person return. So I'm like, wow, can't come this year. Gutted, devastated. I'm just going
It's
to have to go on
crazy, isn't
holiday
it?
to a tropical beach in the South Sea now. What a shame.
But yeah, because I mean, flying from Southeast Asia in the past, a stop off would be like Doha or Dubai or whatever else. You'd have that Middle East stopover, but now that's not an option anymore.
No. Now, the other benefit is we get less backpackers here on like a 75 stop flight that they got.
It's taken a week, a week of sleeping in airports, but I got my flight for
I got here at the
$80.
end. So it maybe means that I will be able to go and sit and have a meal somewhere without having to compete with some fucker and a coffee and a laptop that's been sat there for 3 hours.
Are you a big fan of the digital nomad community in
No,
these kind? No. Why
no.
not? What is it that you don't like about them?
They fucking take up space and air that should be for me. I was here first. I've been here for a decade. I can say this openly now to you that you're getting married and your visa's going to change, but I hope they change the law so that you can only get 2 tourist visas in a row in a year.
Right. Oh, because that's what they did in Thailand, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what they should do here. And then they should make it like 3 or 4 grand if you want to do a expat visa and you get a 1 year visa for like $4,000 and you can stay. And then we'll get a much higher grade of people. Because every time I try and go and have a coffee anywhere or like sit down anywhere, there's people that are staying in hostels that are going to work in a nice coffee shop on a coffee that costs like $2 and sitting there for 3 hours on a table of four. It's like, get out the fuck. Like, if I had the choice, I'd open one. All right, I might do this anyway. I'm going to open a coffee shop that's like for
You're allowed 20 minutes.
it's
If you
like,
don't
yeah,
buy
like,
something, you're out.
yeah, exactly. Like you go up to someone after an hour and you just tell the staff to go up to them and go, "Are you going to fucking buy something or are you going to fuck off?" And they're like,
Because I mean,
"Oh,
is it
you can't
really?
say that." I'm like, "Well, take a photo of me and make a Google review that says the owner or the staff will tell you to get out if you don't buy something after an hour." It's just so
I think
disrespectful and rude.
I think definitely at like if there's busy times as well, and that table could be used by someone else. And also, it's like, what are you actually doing? Just like, oh, I'll just go here. I'll pay my $2 or less for a coffee, and I'll just sit here for the next 2 hours. Use your Wi-Fi. Use your everything else like AC and whatever that takes electricity and costs money too. It's like, how much is that business really made from your visit? Not very much. You're not really helping anybody. And in times when it gets busier, you're there with your laptop and you want coffee while there's a family of four that want to sit down, but they can't, so they go somewhere else. Thinking in those kinds of things, you're dead right.
While working illegally, you know?
Yeah, yeah, basically.
Yeah, I feel the same about Claude. Like, everyone used to use ChatGPT and no one had really used Claude. And then like everyone used to be in Bali and nobody had really heard of Da Nang. And now they're all fucking using Claude and making it slow for me. And they're all in Da Nang in my way when I want to buy a coffee, sit down with my family for 20 minutes. And I just think people are so rude. Like if I'm sat at a table, me and my family are nearly all finished eating and I can see people coming in and like looking for a table. I'm like, all right, guys, let's pay the bill. Let's go. I don't, even though I'm perfectly entitled because I
Yeah.
probably paid like 30 quid to sit there for meals and drinks and whatever else, it still makes me feel like yeah, like I'm missing something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not going to be there with like you almost done cup of coffee and then going, oh, can you refill my complimentary water for me?
Well, there's someone waiting. I would die of like shame to just be that kind of person. And I think, we live in a world now where most people are so fucking entitled. It's like they think that oh well, I don't care. I bought my coffee. I'm just going to sit here for another hour. It's like, well, no, don't. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I as well. I haven't. It's been a long time since I've spent much time in like an expat kind of community
Good
anywhere.
strategy. Good strategy.
But there, but there is like with many, I find there's this weird kind of mindset that I find hard to describe. But there is a bit of a thing of entitlement. There's a bit of that thing of going somewhere, expecting a lot of things, getting paid fair wages back home in a place where that's a lot of money, and sort of been on like a high flying whatever. It's like you're not really. And a lot of the sort of events and things that end up going on, there'll be some different party or whatever, and you see the videos on Facebook, and you just think, wow, that's the last place I would ever want to be. And it's just a load of narcissistic people showing off, and just and I don't know, there's there's just something about it I don't really appreciate. Maybe it's because I'm older.
Ways,
not sure.
Yeah, in some ways I prefer the crinkly sexpats. At least they just go and sit in the bars and drink cheap bottles of beer all day, and that then go back to their little hovel 1-bedroom places with a kettle and sleep it off and do the same the next day. Like, because I don't want to go to those places. So I'm cool with that. They don't go to the gym. They're not on the beach in the daytime. It's awesome.
For some people, they're having like a really, really good retirement and just having a nice, quiet life and just getting into that routine. It was the same in Tenerife in some ways when I lived there. A lot of people had retired out there, and it's sort of, oh, the afternoon comes, okay, we'll go to a bar, we'll have a few beers, okay, it's 3 o'clock, we'll go home, sleep, wake up, get some dinner, and just having like a nice, yeah, and just having a nice chilled out life in a climate where it's warm and like a good place to be.
I bet you got to experience some of the highest echelons of British society living in Tenerife for a few years.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Without a doubt.
Who are all these luminous pink people on the beach? Like, what's this about?
It'd be funny as well. So I don't know, you get some funny, highly patriotic people that'd be like, and I'd get talking to them. Usually we'd have some, I don't know, sometimes some maybe misunderstandings, let's say, or a slight falling out, but nothing too major. But it'd be like, England, greatest country on the world. Like, all right, yeah, but but here you are on an island off the west coast of Africa. Like,
that used to be Britain as well. You know, it's still the 15th century to me.
And we just thought, so why are you here? Why are you not there? You've been here for like a decade. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, because this is like, it's like Blackpool, but you know, an extra few thousand miles away. Anyway,
with €1 beers.
Yeah, this is it. So moving on to one of our favorite humanoids, Mark Zuckerberg. Meta
he's a good lad.
He's a good lad, and to be fair, I won't mess with him now. He's like probably one of the only nerds on the planet that could kick the living shit out of you.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what martial arts it was, but he's been.
I think it's jiu-jitsu, and like I think he's full MMA trained. Yeah, I think he's full MMA trained and like pretty much a unit, which is. And in my mind, I still think that I could beat him, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen. You know, if you're like a billionaire training with like the finest people with the finest nutrition whenever you want, all day, every day, in between surfing. I don't know how he surfs and doesn't get water in his circuit boards. You know, he must be better waterproof than the brand new iPhone. But
yeah, IP68 fully waterproof. That's the version of Mark Zuckerberg that we're on.
Right. But it doesn't stop him harming children's mental health and safety, according to New Mexican state law. And of course, Meta, not Mark Zuckerberg. Please don't sue us. We didn't mean it. We're only joking. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Temporally scripted, limited. Anyway, so $375 million. So pocket change.
Yeah, well, this is it, isn't it? I mean, it reminds me of when, you know, you get like a factory or a mine or something, and it turns out that they've been affecting the local environment and wildlife, and so they get fined for all the pollution that they've done, and they'll get like a fine slapped on them of like $10 million. But what they've been doing in that area made them profit $5 billion, and it's just like an extra tax, really.
Yeah.
I don't know
They
the
don't
full
mind
ins
it.
and outs of it, but 375 million, it's a lot of money. But if you compare that to the amount of money that Meta made for doing this stuff, I'm guessing the profit is going to be a hell of a lot more than the loss, even after tax.
It's a good bet, right? And I'm not going to mention the exact terminologies, which is similar to terminologies that's mentioned in here, because it will certainly result in us getting kicked by the algorithm for mentioning those terms. But yeah, effectively misleading users about the safety of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. I mean, I get it. It's something that I'm 50-50 about, right? Somebody, not the claims, not the things that they've been, accused of, but sometimes it's like, how far do these companies have to go to make sure that we just don't do dumb shit, right? And I think there's a level of like, how much of it is your responsibility versus theirs. And I did a post on LinkedIn yesterday about how they censor certain things and certain language, and how I don't think that's fair. And someone commented saying, oh, well, it's really hard to find the line of when you should censor stuff to protect people versus when you should just like let things go because it's not going to harm anyone. And I just said, when I was a kid, it was like sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Like, can that not just still be the thing? Like, I don't see, like, if you get offended by somebody's words, it's your choice, isn't it? Like, you've chosen to get irritated or annoyed by something that somebody said, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, there is that. I mean, there's whole different levels to it, isn't there? So, and it's how stringent should some of these companies be, and how much should they police their own products? Like, but you mentioned the bit that we'd get flagged by the algorithm for. Obviously, that should be one of the most important things that these companies ensure, is the safety of that demographic of user, because that's really dangerous stuff. When it's getting to things of, I don't know, is someone being body shamed? Is someone being a little bit offended because you said one thing? I don't know how far you go with the whole thing, but I think when there's a risk to certain groups, then it really should, something really should be done, and they do have a responsibility.
And I think it's the blanket age limit for this stuff, right? It should be, you're not allowed on there until you're like, I've got a kid. She's not going to have a phone or a social media access until she's like 16. It's just not the way it's going to be allowed. She can play on her iPad and do Roblox or whatever else that they do and stuff, because I don't want her to be like shunned by society. Like,
yeah, I was just going to say, is she also going to have no friends?
do you know what I mean? But like, there's a level of like responsibility of people and parents and adults. There's like a general responsibility, but it's wild. And I think that's it. Is like, people have got to a point where they don't take any responsibility for like their actions, and it's a fault of the state. It's like, we lived in a nanny state for so long in most places that like people just don't feel like anything's their fault or their responsibility anymore. It's one of the reasons I like living out here, because you can kind of do what you want, but if shit goes down, then shit goes down. Like last weekend, I went with my family to a waterfall. There's no health and safety there at all. The road
I
was
can
like
imagine.
so messed up, we couldn't drive the car over it. We ended up hiring motorbikes, and me and my wife and my 2.5-year-old went on one motorbike. My brother-in-law and my 8-year-old went on another motorbike, and we drove like 7 kilometers up to this waterfall. And then when we got there, the trail up to the top waterfalls, with a landslide had taken it out. And then to like get down to like the waterfall we could get into, you had to scramble down a hose pipe that someone had tied to like a maintenance bridge. And like, there was me at the top, my brother-in-law in the middle, my wife at the bottom, passing my 2.5-year-old down this thing. And it's like, if shit goes
Wow.
wrong, then that's my responsibility. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I've taken the choice, it's on me. If I did that back at home, someone would go, oh, well, the government didn't build a stairway, so you should be able to sue them. It's like, no,
I
fuck no,
think
I shouldn't be able to sue them. It should be on me. Like,
I think I think that's a really interesting point with it though, because you go and do that, you're climbing down this pipe or whatever that's been tied onto some maintenance bridge, and you go, there's an element of danger here. What the difference is with things like Meta and other social media is that they're pushing this product and it's masquerading as being safe, and that they're being the responsible party and they're looking after us. Well, we know, because do you remember a while ago we covered Project Mercury, where Meta, there was that study and it was shown that it's harmful to mental health, and Meta just buried all of this, and then later that was coming out in courts. And this is what's going on. It's like when you go to that waterfall, it isn't pretending to be safe. There's nothing like that. It's like you look at it and go, oh yeah, this, I've got to be careful here. There's not that with social media and Meta so much. And I think that's a big difference.
yeah, you're right.
In fact, the opposite. They're really trying to make it look safe and hiding evidence deliberately to the contrary.
Yeah, kind of like a Viet Cong jungle trap. It's like, it looks like a nice leafy walkway, and then you walk over it and bam, you're on loads of spikes covered in shit.
Exactly. And it's just like that. But then you sort of go, okay, well, is there a solution for this? A lot of countries are doing that thing. Okay, well, when you're 16, you can use social media. Until then, you can't. But what's going to happen is I think that'll be a great excuse to say, okay, well, what you need is a digital ID. That solves the problem. Everyone can have one of those. And without the digital ID, you can't access social media, and you're taken out of that element of society, and there's no way for you to get in. So you'll have to get one. That's the only danger, because I think that's the only way they can really police it. Of what they'll say is the only option.
Yeah, that's true. And they do love a good digital ID, don't they? The government. That's like that. In the UK, that's what they're trying to do.
They've been trying since 1990 something, since the beginning of Blairism.
Yeah, it's wild. I'm not going to go into it too much now, because there's a couple more stories I want us to get to before we run out of time today. But I think the whole digital ID conversation is something we can cover on another day, because it's one of those things, again, where I don't really give a shit. It's like, yeah, I get why people are worried about it, but I also don't really care. They've already got us anyway, haven't they? Basically, if they've got my search history, they've got access to every cookie I ever look at. They've got my Facebook. They can ask Facebook for the data if they want. It's like, there's no weirdness about me that is not already understood by analyzing my search history, my behavior.
Hasn't been covered by a good VPN.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw an amazing advert for a VPN the other day. It just really made me laugh. So there's this guy, looks young, maybe like 18, 20-ish. This is Greg. This is Greg's mom. Greg's mom is about to read Greg's search history and answer this big pile of documents. He's like, it's really, really cool.
No, that sounds good. I like it. I do like a good piece of advertisement that kind of, does things differently. I think over the years, advertisements have been the source of quite a lot of, era-defining scenes. So very cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on. Pubs banning kids. How dare they in the UK? I mean, I remember chips and blue drinks in beer gardens as a staple, and getting on the swing set as a kid. It's a staple of my growing up life, It was one of those things. But apparently there's a pub in Hackney in East London that's banned children after the landlord said the parents were treating the place like a crash and creating safety problems, presumably those little kids getting drunk and, starting fights and flipping tables and all of that. But yeah, so there's an interesting one. What do you think about this? 17 years this guy's owned this pub, and he said that the parents have got worse and worse over time, which I can
I can
imagine.
imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because when scrotes give birth to scrotes, they create even bigger scrotes, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
pretty much. And at the end of the day, people can be outraged or whatever by the fact that he's done this, but like you just said, 17 years he's had this place. It's his pub. He can set his rules.
Get out of my pub.
I worked in a pub quite a few years ago now, but yeah, there was no kids under a certain age. The landlord just made that rule because, like, well, if people go in there, just like relax, have a good time. Sometimes just have a quiet beer on a Sunday afternoon while they're reading the Sunday Times or whatever. They don't want to be in there sat next to someone who's got some screaming baby or some kid that's teething or whatever else, you know? Because it's just, I don't think it's a good vibe. And I don't think, I know it's different for different people and different families have different traditions, but I don't think a pub is really a place for kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it depends on the pub, right? If it's like a Toby Carvery vibe pub,
That's what I was thinking. That could be
then I
okay.
think it's fine. Or if we live in a world where the adults can still give the kids a clip round the ear and tell them to shut up and get out in the kids' beer garden, I think that's fine as well. But we don't live in that world anymore. You know, when I was a kid, I remember seeing adverts on the TV in the UK for these Warner resorts. And Warner resorts are like adult-only resorts. And I remember seeing them as a kid and thinking, what? What's that about? Why would you ever have a resort that only adults can go to? Now I've got 2 kids. I get it.
Like, this is the best business model ever.
This is a great idea. Get the grandparents to come and look after them and piss off on holiday on your own.
And just have some peace and quiet,
sounds
enjoy
awesome.
life.
Don't get me wrong. I love being a dad. Yeah, crikey. You know. Yeah.
I mean,
Anyway.
what the guy said about the quality of parents getting worse, I can see that. I guess there's always been different levels of how good parents have been at controlling their kids or whatever. But I'm sure you've had similar experiences to me where you go to a place and there's like a family with kids and they're just letting the kids run around the entire restaurant or whatever, just screaming. And you're looking around just thinking, I don't think that's really acceptable. And you're looking at the staff going, like, are you going to do something? Or
And they're like, hell no.
Yeah.
I ain't doing nothing. Because their parents are going to kick off and I don't want to deal with it.
I don't get paid enough for that. But
Well, now
it's true.
like, I'm
and
only on 26 grand a year.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
absolutely nothing, apparently.
Madness, isn't it? Yeah, totally. So yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you in some ways. I think there should be a choice. Like if a place is serving food and it's got a beer garden and stuff, then you know, family friendly, that's fine. I think if a place is just serving alcohol and got sports on the TV like this place does, well, there's no reason for kids to be in there, is there? So I think it's one of those, like, parents should, you know, drink somewhere that's child friendly, instead of bothering people in that as kind of establishment. But anyway, on to happier news before we go into our weekly top fives. Jonathan the tortoise still refusing to die.
Well, yeah, well, despite rumors. So yeah, Jonathan the tortoise from the island of Saint Helena. It was rumored that he died, and they had to end up giving proof. So there was a photograph of the tortoise beside an iPad that showed the day's news from BBC to prove that he was still alive. Because apparently what someone had done is someone had impersonated Jonathan's vet and then spread a lot of fake news that he died. The post received 2 million views, but it turned out that this was a hoaxer. And what he'd also done is started asking for like crypto donations to help with, I guess, I don't know, funeral arrangements or
To look
And
after his family, I suppose. Maybe.
exactly. I mean, so yeah, this is the first tortoise I've heard of. It's been involved in a crypto scam, but maybe it won't be the first. Maybe there'll be many more.
I mean, I must have. Yeah, I mean, he lives a more exciting life than I do. I like the comment here that the AP reported that Jonathan is believed to be 193, but Joe Hollins, the vet, says he's at least 194 actually, and he arrived there when he was 50, so he's an immigrant. I like it, and he's
Yeah,
actually on the back of the Saint Helena 5p coin.
yeah, he's like a
So
real local celebrity, which is really cool. I like it.
and to prove it, they put an iPad next to him with a BBC homepage just to show that it was today's date, which makes me really want to look at St. Helena because it sounds like they're BBC 5p coins, and I bet it's a little bit better weather than most of the UK. Maybe that's a future place that I'm going to live.
I believe it's quite remote, but it's like a really amazing place to visit. So I've heard.
I bet there's no digital nomads there.
Probably not. You can go have your coffee whenever you feel like it. You can get a table whenever you want, like some crusty dude with a laptop.
Oh, it's like randomly out somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic, the mid-Atlantic Ocean. Fantastic.
Is that far enough away from from majority of
Civilization.
humanity for you?
Yeah. Actually, it's got two big mountains and a beach down the middle. It looks a bit like the beach from One Piece, which is that series that came out about the Japanese the Japanese story cartoon book. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, okay.
April
Interesting.
Fools. Top 5. Oh, I've given it away. I have to cut that out. So anyway, on to this week's top 5s, Adam. What have we got this week for the audience?
Oh, well, as we're recording this, today is the 3rd of April, but 2 days ago, obviously, that was the 1st, which is April Fool's Day. So we're going to have a look at just a handful of top April Fool's Day pranks by brands.
And before you dive into these, I had a couple of doozies this year. So the first one, my wife went to the gym on April the 1st because we get a long time to do it because we're in Vietnam and our families are back at home in Europe. But I told my wife that my son had thrown a golf ball at our 100-inch TV while she was at the gym. And I let her stew on that for a bit, which was quite good fun. She was in a great mood about it when she got home. And then when she got home, and then I waited for my mum to wake up, and I called her and said my wife was pregnant with our 3rd child. I let her stew on that for an hour before telling her it wasn't true. Fun time.
I mean, it's not like there's not a lot of comedy going on there. It's really usually in April Fools afterwards, everyone goes, "Oh yeah, that's great." All you've done is just create like a lot of anxiety and whatever else.
I really enjoyed myself thoroughly. And I also got a pinch punch 1st of the month in on my Vietnamese brother-in-law who has no idea about that history either. So it's great.
Right.
I get to punch him every 1st of the month. It's awesome. Anyway, try and top that with your list. That's like when he comes in and plays your best tune as the last thing of his set and then goes, "All right, mate, over to you."
Yeah, like,
Come on, what have you got? Beat the fake pregnancy and the broken TV. Again.
Nothing that's quite that good, but Burger King in 1998 did come out with a left-handed Whopper.
Oh, nice.
Which I think's pretty cool, and it's almost as good as a pretend broken TV. Because I guess some people must have believed it. And it wasn't that it contained different ingredients, but it's just that the condiments had been rotated 180 degrees to better suit left-handed eating.
Oh, nice. I like that. That's smart. That's a smart play.
It's cool, isn't it? I think like any good bit of marketing, it got lots of people talking about it, and then you think about it and go, oh, you know what? I haven't been to that place for a while. Maybe I should go and have a Whopper at Burger King.
I like
And
it.
cool.
Yeah, very good. What we got next?
The next one was pretty funny, I thought, which was 2007 from Google. They announced TISP, which is short for Toilet Internet Service Provider. And so what they said basically was you could get this cable and start flushing it down your toilet. And then the other end you could plug into a router and you'd have free Wi-Fi.
Nice. So you could literally log on to your internet.
Yeah, you could, but it turned out they were just taking the piss.
You probably can do it now, though, to be fair. I'm sure I've got an agent for that.
You probably have.
Yeah.
You could ask Claude about it, because AI chatbots are so weird and sycophantic and whatever else and people pleasing. It's like, I can do that.
Absolutely, not a problem at all.
Order yourself an Ethernet cable and we'll have it going back.
Consider it done. Yeah.
The next one I found kind of funny is from 2019. Tinder brought out a height verification badge, and it was for men on Tinder. And the idea was they'd have to stand next to a commercial building and take a photo, because so many people have put height 6'3". Real height is like 5'6".
Yeah, I feel like that's unfair, and that they would not have dared to do that against women on the platform for want of getting totally shut down. But obviously making fun of men is fine.
Yeah.
It's not like we have the highest suicide rate of anyone in the planet or anything like that. Just, give us another kick. Why not? You know?
I was on a dating app once and it had like different options for height. And one of them, the very lowest one was like less than 95 centimeters. So I just put that under this room. And you get like a message from, oh, hi, how you doing? Yeah. Get talking a little. Just like, how tall are you? Because you look quite tall in these photographs, but
you're a genius. That's a brilliant way to break the ice of people. You clever motherfucker. Okay, good. Next turn. You were knee deep in swiping people right on you. Lovely.
Something like that. Not exactly. No. Next one is a bit. The next one's a bit more recent, but something I think would actually be amazing. So Domino's came out with the pot noodle stuffed crust pizza.
Ooh, that reminds me of pot noodle sandwiches.
Yeah, and of course it would be the only flavor you could go with, chicken and mushroom.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I'm with you on the chicken and mushroom. Yeah.
I think it's everyone's favorite flavor. It's way better than most. It just got that classic, sophisticated taste.
I have been partial to a spicy curry here and there. I hope that doesn't mean we can't be friends.
Spicy curry is all right, but I think it's just that chicken and mushroom just seems like the original one.
The classic, yeah.
And a couple of bits of sweet corn in there for some health and nutrition.
Yeah, which are the same when they come out the other end, yeah.
Yeah. But I wonder, I genuinely wonder how bad that would taste.
Yeah. Random, but a pot noodle sandwich is good, so you never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard to eat, but good.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing. But anyway, that brings us to the last one, which was Terry's. The makers of Chocolate Orange, they came out with an emergency segment phone case. So basically what this was like a phone case, and here you'd have like a half moon shape that was exactly the right size for one segment of Terry's Chocolate Orange. And the idea was that in case of emergency, you could take it out and have an emergency segment.
In case of emergency. Beautiful.
In case of emergency. That's right. Very good.
I love that. What a fantastic top 5.
I mean, the only thing is with that, of course, it would probably melt. So maybe in reality, it wouldn't be the best idea. But
Yeah,
anyway,
well, definitely in this part of the world, but in the UK, it's tepid. You might be okay.
yeah. And I guess that's the top 5 April Fools. And this April, don't be a fool. Remember to subscribe, like, share. Temporally scripted podcast. Oh, there we go.
That's fantastic. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. I thoroughly enjoyed myself today, as always. I'm looking forward to sitting down again next week. But until the next time, thank you very much, Adam. It's been great to have you here again in the studio.
It's a pleasure as always. See you next time, everybody.
Goodbye.